Welcome to this special video. Walker Texas Ranger became a television icon of the 90s, blending martial arts, strict justice, and unforgettable characters. However, after many memorable years, 39 actors from the show have passed away, leaving a significant gap. Today, we honor the legends who helped make Walker Texas Ranger a success. Which character did you love the most from the show? Comment 1 if you're a fan, or 0 if you haven't seen it yet. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe to support the channel and discover more fascinating content. One of the memorable actors in the series is Clarence Gilliard Jr., who played James Trevette, an intelligent and loyal character. This role helped him become a well-known name in the hearts of audiences. However, behind his career success, there was a private life full of challenges. Clarence went through 2 divorces and struggled to maintain relationships with his 6 children due to spending long hours dedicated to his work. His second marriage to Elena faced many difficulties, with increasing tension over time and a strained emotional connection, especially as his health began to deteriorate. Although highly regarded for his professionalism in the industry, Clarence Gilliard gradually withdrew from the public eye as he faced a prolonged illness. He lived in a modest home filled with memories and books in Las Vegas, where he spent his time collecting motorcycles and preserving personal mementos. Clarence Gilliard's estimated net worth of $5 million came from his acting career, teaching and publishing. Despite reports of internal conflicts regarding the distribution of assets, his family remains the official heir. On November 28, 2022, Clarence Gilliard Jr. passed away at the age of 66 due to complications from a long-standing illness, leaving a significant void in the hearts of fans and those who loved him. Woody Watson, who played Coleman in Walker Texas Ranger from 1993, was a familiar yet rather quiet presence on screen. With his rugged and understated acting style, Woody left a strong impression on viewers. However, behind those memorable performances, his personal life was filled with turbulence. Despite being a talented actor, Woody struggled to find stable work outside of the iconic show. Woody married twice in his life. His first marriage ended due to alcohol addiction. His second marriage also collapsed after an unforgettable tragedy. The couple lost their teenage daughter Rachel in a heartbreaking car accident. This immense pain led to the deterioration of their relationship, and Woody spent the final 2 decades of his life living alone. Floyd "Red Crow" Westerman began his memorable role in 1993 when he took on the part of the wise and spiritually rich Native American uncle of Ray Walker in Walker Texas Ranger. Through this role, Westerman provided a deep and unique perspective on Native American culture, an angle rarely portrayed in mainstream media. Although his career was marked by significant challenges, particularly in his personal life, Floyd remained resilient and dedicated to the values he believed in. Westerman was a widower who never remarried, raising his 2 children alone while maintaining a challenging career in music and social activism. Throughout his life, he faced discrimination and financial hardships, but he always strived to maintain his faith, often sacrificing career opportunities to defend the principles and social causes he was passionate about. Though admired by his colleagues in the industry, Floyd Westerman's dedication to policy advocacy made it difficult for him to find long-term stability in Hollywood. He lived in a modest home in Los Angeles, decorated with tribal art and musical instruments, reflecting his deep connection to his culture and traditions. His estate, valued at around $1 million, included royalties from his compositions, earnings from his films, and valuable cultural artifacts he had collected throughout his life. However, much of this wealth was donated to educational funds aimed at helping younger generations in Native American communities. Floyd Westerman passed away on December 13, 2007 at the age of 71 due to complications from leukemia. Though he has passed, his legacy endures not only through his memorable roles, but also through his unwavering contributions to the community and Native American culture. Ned Romero made a lasting impact on Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1998 when he portrayed Judge Henry 5 Kills, a strong and justice-driven character that clearly reflected his heritage and identity. Romero's career spanned decades, but for much of that time he was relegated to supporting roles, preventing his true talent from being fully showcased. Throughout his life, Romero faced the challenge of being typecast, which took a toll on his spirit, especially following the tragic death of his young daughter from leukemia. Despite these challenges, he maintained his resilience, supported strongly by his wife, a renowned screenwriter, in his fight against the industry's prejudices in Hollywood. However, he also endured the pain of being rejected by his own community for accepting stereotypical roles in earlier films. Although Judge Henry 5 Kills was a small role, it was one of the few characters in which Romero truly felt represented the values and heritage of his own identity. In real life, Romero was known for his woodworking, a craft that brought him peace and a deep connection to nature. He also engaged in spiritual activities with a deep belief in the cultural values of his heritage. His estate in Los Angeles included a hillside home decorated with exquisite Native American carvings, a classic convertible, and rare cinematic memorabilia, with an estimated value of around $1 million. Ned Romero passed away on November 4, 2017 at the age of 90. He left behind a significant legacy for his surviving daughter, as well as a small but incredibly loyal group of friends and students. His contributions to cinema and Native American culture will continue to live on in the hearts of his fans and the community. Lou Hancock, who played Mabel Choupe in Walker, Texas Ranger from 1993, though only making brief appearances on screen, left a special mark with her warmth and approachability. She brought a sense of familiarity to viewers even in a small role within a thrilling action series. In real life, Lou Hancock's life was shaped by loneliness and a series of emotional challenges. Never married and without children, she spent much of her time caring for her mentally ill brother, sacrificing not only career opportunities but also personal relationships to take care of her family. In the final years of her life, she lived alone in a small house in Los Angeles, filled with books and vinyl records. Noble Willingham, who portrayed C.D. Parker, a former Texas Ranger, and the owner of Foley's Bar in Walker, Texas Ranger from 1993, breathed new life into his career with this role. However, this memorable role couldn't mend the fractures in his personal life. Despite being married, Willingham spent much of his later years alone, rarely mentioning his family and gradually becoming estranged from them. Though he had 3 children, his political activities and solitary lifestyle created a distance between him and his offspring. In his later years, Willingham often reflected on the past, contemplating lost relationships and artistic ambitions that never came to fruition. He lived in a beautiful mid-century home in Palm Springs, accompanied by a collection of classic American cars, with his estate estimated at around $3 million. Much of Willingham's wealth was passed on to his children, but a portion of his personal collection was donated to the charitable causes he had supported in his later years. He spent his final days in quiet solitude, living a peaceful life before passing away from natural causes on January 17, 2004, at the age of 72. Although Noble Willingham's personal life faced significant challenges, the legacy he left through his portrayal of C.D. Parker and his charitable contributions remains an enduring part of the entertainment industry and the community. Robert Wall, who who played Billy in Walker, Texas Ranger in 1994, brought a powerful presence to the screen with his exceptional martial arts skills, a talent he honed throughout his life. With a close relationship to the legendary Bruce Lee, Wall had a respected journey in Hollywood, though his career was not as illustrious as those of other stars. Behind his calm demeanor and strong public image, Wall endured the pain of losing one of his 2 children in a tragic motorcycle accident. This emotional trauma haunted him for decades. Although he was married, his passion for martial arts and stunt work created tension in his personal relationships. This led to prolonged periods of separation from his wife. Nevertheless, Robert Wall never strayed far from martial arts. He continued training in martial arts until his final years, maintaining his passion for the craft. His estate, valued at approximately $2 million, included a training facility, rare martial arts memorabilia, and a cozy home in Los Angeles filled with trophies and photos from his Hollywood days. His family now runs a charity in his name, carrying on the humanitarian work he always supported. Robert Wall passed away on January 30th, 2022 at the age of 82. Though his life was not without challenges, his martial arts legacy and contributions to the community will live forever in the hearts of fans and family. Eloy Casados, best known for his role as Sheriff Sam Coyote in Walker, Texas Ranger in 1996, left a lasting impression with his calm, authoritative demeanor and deep cultural pride. His performance was not only a significant contribution to the series, but also a powerful symbol for the Native American community, even though much of his career remained in the shadows of Hollywood. In real life, Casados carried profound emotional scars. Having lost his father to suicide at a young age, he grappled with severe psychological trauma, as well as drug addiction and the tragic imprisonment of his son Julian. Marla Adams, who played Betsy Harper in Walker, Texas Ranger in 2000, delivered a late career role brimming with personality. Though the part brought her a modest measure of recognition, the joy it provided couldn't offset the deep wounds in her personal life. Adams cherished the role of Betsy, a sharp-tongued, resilient character, but off-screen she grappled with profound pain. She had once been married to a television executive, but the union ended bitterly after just 5 years. She had a daughter named Heather, whom she raised largely on her own. However, their relationship grew strained when Heather moved abroad and cut off contact for decades, deepening Adams's sense of isolation. She lived in a modest home in Los Angeles where loneliness and early-onset dementia became major challenges in her later years. A devastating fire in the 1990s destroyed most of her personal mementos, leaving her even more emotionally withdrawn and detached from the outside world. Marla Adams's estate, valued at approximately $1 million, primarily consisted of her personal home, a small hybrid car, and costume jewelry that held more sentimental than material value. Despite the geographic distance, her entire estate was left to her daughter Heather. Mara Adams passed away on April 25, 2024, at the age of 85 of natural causes. Though her life was marked by hardship and pain, the role of Betsy Harper and the legacy she left behind will remain a cherished memory in the hearts of her fans. Carmen Argenziano, who portrayed George Vickers in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1994, enjoyed a decades-long acting career, but his personal life was fraught with difficulties and challenges. While his on-screen character was a tough, respected figure, Argenziano struggled to maintain a balanced family life. His marriage ended in divorce, and he often grappled with keeping close ties to his children, a battle that took a significant toll on his mental and physical health. Argenziano's career brought some measure of success, but the emotional and physical scars from his personal struggles remained undeniable. Although renowned for his role, Argenziano's final years were overshadowed by health issues and the internal struggles he faced. His estate, valued at approximately $1 million, included a home in Los Angeles and personal belongings that he left to his family. Despite achieving notable success in his career, Argenziano endured relentless personal challenges. He passed away on February 10, 2019 at the age of 75 of natural causes. Carmen Argenziano's legacy was ultimately inherited by his family. And though his life was marked by a series of personal trials that affected his mental health and family relationships, he will be remembered for his compelling performances throughout his career. Dennis Letts, who played Fred Garrett in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1994, was not only an actor but also a professor, a talented playwright, and the father of Pulitzer Prize-winning writer Tracy Letts. Though his role in the series was brief, it marked a late career turning point in acting after decades devoted to education and playwriting. Yet behind that gentle exterior lay a life of quiet suffering. Dennis Letts endured a difficult marriage marked by challenges and betrayal. Dennis Letts's estate, valued at approximately $500,000, included a historic home in Dallas, an old Honda, and an extensive personal library filled with rare books and unpublished plays. Dennis Letts passed away on February 22, 2008, at the age of 73 after a long battle with cancer. In his final months, he reunited with his family, who had grown closer after years of emotional distance. Though his life was marked by hardship and sorrow, the legacy Dennis Letts left through his creative work and his role as a father will forever be cherished by his family and those who admired him. Rod Taylor, who portrayed attorney Gordon Cahill in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1996, enjoyed a storied film career before transitioning to television. Best known for classics like The Birds and the Time Machine, his move to TV was an attempt to revive his fame while reluctantly accepting the fading of his movie stardom. However, Taylor's personal life was turbulent and fraught with challenges. He married 3 times, each ending in divorce or scandal. His final marriage collapsed amid allegations of emotional abuse, and his only daughter, Felicia, grew distant, blaming him for years of neglect and selfishness. Taylor's relationships with his Walker, Texas Ranger colleagues, particularly Chuck Norris, were a mix of warmth and bitterness. Though he could never recapture his past glory, he maintained a lavish lifestyle. His Beverly Hills estate with a wine cellar, rare art collection, and 4 vintage cars was valued at $5 million. Despite the luxury in his final years, he lived alone, cared for by hired staff. Rod Taylor died of a heart attack on January 7, 2015 at the age of 84. Though gone, his contributions to film and television will be remembered forever. Michael Parks, who played Caleb Hooks in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1996, brought a rugged intensity that matched his quiet, brooding persona. Beneath the tough exterior, however, Parks lived a life steeped in isolation and regret. He married twice, and both unions ended amid accusations of emotional abuse and infidelity, leaving his personal life in constant turmoil. Parks had one son, James, but their relationship remained complicated, marked by only occasional conversations. In the 1970s, his career took a nosedive after a public falling out with studio executives. This led to years of obscurity and financial instability. Nevertheless, he found a modest revival through guest roles, but bitterness lingered in his mind, along with a sense of being overlooked by the film industry. Parks's home in Los Angeles, tucked away in a quiet neighborhood, was filled with old guitars and dusty film reels, a symbol of a great talent often sidelined. His $2 million estate, including the house, a collection of vintage motorcycles, and royalties from earlier works, is now divided among distant relatives. Michael Parks passed away on May 9, 2017, at the age of 77 of natural causes. Though his life was filled with ups and downs and challenges, especially in his personal struggles, his legacy and talent will live on in the hearts of those who cherished his performances, particularly his role as Caleb Hooks in Walker, Texas Ranger. Parks' career was not just a series of memorable roles, but a testament to his resilience and passion for acting. His contributions will always be remembered, and fans will continue to speak of him as an icon of film and television. James Drury, who played Captain Tom Price in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1993, brought a dignified and authoritative presence to the character, helping to spotlight his long career after years of relative obscurity. The role reignited interest in Drury, even though his screen career had been marked by ups and downs. Though respected on screen, his personal life was turbulent and painful. Drury married 3 times, but each marriage ended in heartbreak, with infidelity and financial strain playing major roles in the breakdowns. He had 2 sons, Timothy and James Jr., but his relationships with both were strained. His eldest son, Timothy, battled addiction and lived in poverty for many years, leaving Drury deeply disappointed and isolated. Though admired by the public, Drury struggled with loneliness in his later years, living virtually alone in a large house in Houston. The death of his 3rd wife devastated him, triggering prolonged depression from which he could scarcely escape. If James Drury's story touched you, leave a comment and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. James Drury's estate, valued at $2 million, included a classic Cadillac, a ranch-style home filled with memorabilia, and a collection of antique firearms. Though the house was meticulously maintained, much of his personal collection remained untouched, preserved as a private memorial to his life and career. James Drury passed away on April 6, 2020, at the age of 85 of natural causes. Though his life was marked by personal trials, the legacy he left through his role as Captain Tom Price and his contributions to entertainment will always be cherished by fans. August Schellenberg, who played Billy Grey Wolf in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1994, brought wisdom and authenticity to the role, drawing from his own indigenous heritage. The performance was not only a powerful expression of cultural identity, but also a landmark in his career as a man dedicated to preserving his people's roots and traditions. Beneath the strength and dignity he projected on screen, however, lay deep emotional wounds. Schellenberg's long marriage was repeatedly strained by cultural pressures and the demands of a career that kept him away from home for extended periods. He had 3 children, among whom Paul struggled for years with substance abuse and legal troubles, casting a long shadow over the family. In the 1980s, a severe car accident left Schellenberg with chronic pain, an injury he concealed for years while continuing to work relentlessly. Yet these burdens never dimmed his dedication and love for his craft. His home in Dallas served as a sanctuary where he painted and wrote poetry, though these creations were rarely shared with the public. His home, valued at approximately $1 million, became a legacy, a sanctuary preserving the creative moments of his life. August Schellenberg's estate included the house, a small art collection, and an old pickup truck he stubbornly refused to part with. His children inherited his assets, though disputes over the division further strained their already tense relationships. Schellenberg passed away from cancer on August 15, 2013, at the age of 77. Though his life was marked by numerous trials, his legacy, not only in film but also in art and family, will be forever remembered. Brian James, who played Rafer Cobb in Walker, Texas Ranger in 1997, was known for his menacing, powerful roles, but few knew the real pain hidden behind his tough exterior. James never married, and he often claimed that his volatile temper and heavy drinking made it impossible for him to sustain any long-term relationship. Though unmarried, he fathered a child from a brief affair in the 1980s. However, he denied paternity until a DNA test forced him to acknowledge the child. Their relationship remained distant, lacking the closeness many expect between parent and child. In 1991, James suffered a nervous breakdown on set, leading to a brief hospitalization, an incident he kept secret for the rest of his life. Though he owned a picturesque home in Malibu worth $1 million, he often lived in hotels during filming, shunning roots and seeking solitude. James's estate included a classic convertible and rare film memorabilia, but most of it was auctioned off after his death. A years-long legal dispute between his son and distant cousins over the estate added further burden to his family. Brian James passed away on August 7, 1999, at the age of 54 from a heart attack. Though his life was marked by trials, isolation, and unrelenting pain, the legacy he left through his film roles, especially as Rafer Cobb in Walker, Texas Ranger, will forever be remembered and cherished by fans. His performances touched audiences' hearts and remain an indelible part of the show's fond memories. Steve Rivas, who played Jake Stonecrow in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1997, brought a rare and authentic representation of Native American characters to primetime television. The role not only highlighted Rivas's talent, but also opened a vital door for the indigenous community in the entertainment industry, which had scant presence on TV screens at the time. Off-screen, however, Rivas's life was marked by profound challenges and emotional isolation. He grew up on the Blackfeet Reservation in Montana, enduring poverty and the devastating loss of 2 siblings in a tragic house fire. Though he married Marcel Rivas, a casting director, their relationship grew strained largely due to his frequent absences and emotional withdrawal. This left their 3 children, Joseph, Kayla, and Marcus, feeling isolated and disconnected from their father. Rivas found brief stability in Montana, where he owned a small ranch-style home and an old pickup truck, possessions he deeply cherished. However, his career never truly flourished after Walker, Texas Ranger ended, and he turned to alcohol to cope with the loneliness and sorrow in his life. Gwen Verdon, who played Maisie Whitman in Walker, Texas Ranger 1997, was a legendary figure in theater and television, celebrated for her dazzling performances and extraordinary talent. Yet her private life was anything but smooth, marked by turmoil and hardship. Her marriage to the renowned choreographer Bob Fosse was a relationship of both fierce passion and profound pain, riddled with upheaval. The union ended in a devastating divorce, leaving deep emotional scars in Verdon's heart. Though their bond had been intense and loving, the separation inflicted lasting strain on her mental health. After the divorce, Verdon's romantic life remained troubled, and her relationships with her children grew strained due to demanding work commitments and the personal pain she carried. Despite her towering professional success, her private world stayed shadowed by wounds that never fully healed. Her estate, valued at approximately $2 million, included a home in Los Angeles and various personal belongings. Though Verdon's career shone brightly, the emotional struggles left her final years steeped in hardship and solitude. Gwen Verdon passed away on October 18, 2000 at the age of 75. She left behind a monumental legacy of unforgettable stage and television works, widely celebrated for her talent and tireless dedication. Yet beneath her professional triumphs lay a sorrowful story of personal trials, from broken marriages to family struggles. Despite these hardships, her artistic legacy will forever be remembered and honored by the public, and she will always stand as an icon of devotion and passion in the performing arts. Burt Remsen, who joined Walker Texas Ranger in 1996 as Jack Soldier Belmont, left a powerful mark on audiences with his gritty, commanding roles across film and television. His career was filled with triumphs, but his personal life was riddled with challenges and hardships. Though he was married, the relationship ended in divorce, and he often struggled to sustain connections due to the time and sacrifices demanded by his work. His children were a vital part of his life, yet strained relationships with them occasionally left him feeling distant and alone. Emotional battles and health issues made Remsen's final years even more trying. His estate, valued at approximately $2 million, included a home in Los Angeles and various personal belongings, all of which were left to his family. Though his acting career was highly successful, his personal life was often steeped in sorrow and inner turmoil. Burt Remsen passed away on October 8, 2023, at the age of 83 of natural causes. Though he has left this world, his legacy in the entertainment industry and his contributions through his roles will always be remembered and honored. His death marked the end of a chapter filled with triumphs and emotional struggles in the life and career of a gifted artist. Robert Forster, who played Lane Tillman in Walker Texas Ranger starting in 1995, enjoyed a long and varied acting career filled with memorable roles. Yet his personal life was deeply affected by major upheavals, especially in family relationships. He married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, leaving lasting emotional scars. His relationships with his children were also strained, marked by frequent tension due to his all-consuming dedication to his career, which left him little time for family. Despite the emotional wounds, Forster remained a beloved and respected figure in Hollywood. His role in Walker Texas Ranger was a key part of his career, boosting his reputation and leaving a lasting impression on audiences. His career continued to thrive, but his personal life was filled with unrelenting challenges and struggles. Robert Forster's estate, valued at approximately $3 million, included a home in Los Angeles and a collection of personal items passed down to his family. Sadly, he passed away on October 11, 2019, at the age of 78 after a long battle with brain cancer. His death left a void in the hearts of fans and family alike, and his estate was inherited by his loved ones. Though Robert Forster's acting achievements were celebrated and honored, his personal life was fraught with hardship and struggle. His efforts in both career and family will be forever remembered, and he will always be cherished as a great talent of Hollywood. John Fujioka, who played Master Ren in Walker Texas Ranger starting in 1996, brought dignity and wisdom to the role, displaying subtle, authoritative acting. Off-screen, however, his life was steeped in silence and solitude. Fujioka had been widowed for over 2 decades, having lost his wife Naomi in a car accident in the 1970s, an event that left him deeply devastated. Though he had a daughter named Emmy, their relationship grew increasingly strained as his prolonged grief made him emotionally distant. Though his career was successful, Fujioka often felt typecast in underappreciated and overlooked roles, especially in his later years. He lived alone in a modest Los Angeles home and drove a 1990 sedan. He refused to replace a picture of his simple, solitary existence. His estate, valued at approximately $800,000, included the house rare samurai artifacts he cherished and a modest retirement fund, all left entirely to his daughter, who will manage his legacy. John Fujioka passed away on December 13, 2018 at the age of 93 due to natural causes after spending his final years in silence and being largely forgotten by Hollywood. Although his personal life was filled with sadness and solitude, marked by great loss and hardship, the legacy he left behind through his portrayal of Master Ren in Walker Texas Ranger and his contributions to the entertainment industry will always be remembered. That role, along with his lasting influence, will forever live on in the hearts of fans and remain an essential part of television history. Jano Silva, who portrayed El Coyote in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1996, delivered unforgettable performances that helped shape the show's lasting success. However, his private life was far from the strength and confidence he displayed on screen. Silva's marriage faced serious difficulties, and his relationship with his children became strained partly due to his demanding career and the emotional distance that grew within his family life. In his later years, Silva struggled with dementia, which not only took a toll on his health, but also deeply affected his personal relationships, leaving behind a story marked by both artistic achievement and quiet sorrow. Although he portrayed a strong and intimidating character in films, Silva's personal life was filled with sorrow and isolation, creating a stark contrast between his public image and real life. Silva's estate, valued at around $1 million, included a house in Los Angeles and various personal belongings which were left to his family. While his on-screen successes created a lasting legacy in the entertainment industry, the difficulties and challenges in his personal life overshadowed those accomplishments. Jano Silva passed away on May 9, 2020, at the age of 72 due to complications from dementia. His death left his family with the inheritance of his estate, but it also deepened the sorrow of a life filled with personal struggles from loneliness to health challenges. Nevertheless, the legacy he left in the hearts of fans through his role as El Coyote in Walker, Texas Ranger will be remembered forever. This role, with its haunting intensity and strength, made a lasting impact on the entertainment industry and in the hearts of those who loved the show. Jeep Swenson, who played the fierce Jumbo Stark in Walker, Texas Ranger starting in 1993, brought a role that perfectly matched his muscular physique. However, the strength he displayed on screen masked the internal struggles he faced as he lived under constant pressure to maintain his bodybuilder image. This led to significant harm to his health. Swenson's friends knew him as a gentle giant, but in reality, he battled deep mental and physical issues. He married model Erin Maldonado, but their relationship quickly became unstable due to financial difficulties and his growing steroid addiction. They had a daughter, Amanda, who later spoke about the emotional chaos within their family, revealing the pain and crises Swenson had to endure. Swenson owned a luxurious home in Los Angeles, along with several high-end cars, including a red Corvette that he rarely drove. His estate, estimated at around $500,000, was significantly depleted due to medical expenses and legal disputes, leaving a modest inheritance for his family. Jeep Swenson passed away on August 18, 1997, at the age of 40 due to heart failure. This tragic end marked the conclusion of a life filled with struggles shaped by extremes and haunted by both physical and emotional pain. Carrie Hamilton, who played Mary Beth McCall in Walker, Texas Ranger from 1995, made a strong impression with her emotionally rich performances, revealing a deep pain hidden behind her smile. As the daughter of the famous actress Carol Burnett, Hamilton struggled with the weight of her family legacy and a history of addiction during her teenage years. Although she successfully overcame her addiction in her early 20s, the psychological scars followed her throughout her life. Never married Carrie Hamilton had a long and troubled relationship with musician Brian Schmid. This relationship ended bitterly when Schmid refused to support her in her battle with cancer, leaving Hamilton feeling even more isolated. She had no children and often expressed her loneliness in her personal diaries, reflecting a sensitive soul and ongoing inner struggles. Hamilton's home in Los Angeles, filled with musical instruments and handwritten lyrics, was a true reflection of her creative spirit. Her estate, valued at around 100 million, was passed on to her mother and siblings after her passing. Carrie Hamilton passed away on January 20th, 2002 at the age of 38 due to metastatic lung cancer that spread to her brain. Her death marked the end of a promising life, yet one filled with quiet sorrow. Though her life was short and painful, her legacy in art and on screen will forever be remembered. McCoy, who portrayed Dr. Henry Lee in Walker, Texas Ranger from 1997, delivered a performance full of nuance and sophistication, showcasing the talent he had honed over decades of acting experience. However, behind these impressive roles, his personal life was filled with challenges and sorrow. Mako struggled with the dual identity of being an Asian actor in a Hollywood that was still limited and not yet fully open to Asian artists. His long marriage to actress Shizuko Hoshi faced many ups and downs, particularly after the tragic death of their son Kenji in a drowning accident. This loss created a deep rift in their relationship, although they maintained a legal bond. Mako threw himself into his work to avoid confronting the pain, rarely resting, and often using roles like Dr. Lee to silently express his inner resilience. He lived in a traditional home in Los Angeles, decorated with calligraphy and Japanese instruments, while also showcasing his lesser-known talent for singing. Mako's estate, valued at around $1 million, was divided between his wife and their surviving daughter Mari. Mako passed away on July 21, 2006 at the age of 72 after a long battle with esophageal cancer. Mako's death left a legacy of dignity and resilience in the face of immense grief, a silent sacrifice that few truly understood. Though he passed away, his role in Walker, Texas Ranger will forever live in the hearts of fans. His impact on television will never be forgotten. Which actor from the Walker, Texas Ranger cast is your favorite? Leave a comment and let us know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more classic television star content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.